Everybody, it's Psychic Hunter David Williamson. Well, it is Saturday, and we're getting there, man. We've moved into Leo, so the energy is changing, it's shifting, it's moving forth. That energy over the last 48 hours was a bit tough because, remember, each and every one of us is still getting to this acceptance and sense of understanding of all that concurred last week on Monday. With that new moon in Cancer, we had the nodes move to Aries and Libra. And I'm going to talk about something just for a second here, so about what I feel is happening on a world level. So you've got everybody worked up, everybody stressed out. Now you've got all the powers that be. You know, you've got some great stuff, which I'll also speak about in regards to the aspect of revolution that I've spoken about, because it's happening across the board. But the one thing I want to speak about here is the aspect of the age of Aquarius. So you'll hear astrologers speak about Pluto's move into Aquarius in a very full, determined sense after next January the 24th, 25th, and around there. We give it human dates, but in all honesty, it's a coalition of timing that is progressive. So, I was thinking about the fear of AI, and I thought, I can see where everybody's coming from, and the worst thing that could ever happen to humanity is AI. And okay, so the age of Aquarius is about equality. It's about working together. It's about understanding. So, in worst case scenario, you could have an absolute world catastrophe and a disaster. You've had COVID as a little taste of the preempt, those last degrees of Pluto and Capricorn coming on board, causing economic uneasiness. Remember, it's been in Capricorn, it's back there for a very short stay, and then a little bit in the fall of 2024. And things are going to change forever. Look at I can't even remember, God bless me, I know he's in Aries, the fellow in Britain who had his bank accounts closed. Apparently now there was another one. And he's fighting the system. That's part of the revolution. But we'll talk about that in a moment. So the thing that I want to speak about, and that's Chloe talking away, the thing I want to talk about is the aspect that AI may very well force the human animal to all work together. And this could very well be the future. That it's not going to be about entitlement anymore. It's not going to be about I own more and I've got the Rolex and the sports car. It's going to be that you all work together. And it won't really have as much impact on my generation and me, because I'm already getting way up there. It's going to have a lot to do with the 20, 30, and 40-year-olds that may say, oh, well, we can work together, we can share, we don't need, I can borrow your flying car. I don't need to own it. I don't need it to have Mercedes on the back of it. That was an old world philosophical belief that maybe was wrong, that humanity did this, and humanity believed that they were better than the next person. And we're going to see a massive transformation in the world. And I think it's going to override everything. It will override philosophies that have existed for thousands of years. And maybe the introduction of alien species, which I'm almost 100% positive exist. I think that they making themselves known since World War II was the horrific aspect of the nuclear bombs being dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I've always believed that since I was very young. To much ridicule, but I'm sorry, I do. And I think they're looking at it as, what are you doing here to the universe? You have no right to do this to the universe. So we're in a very, very interesting period of human history. I want to try to embrace it. I'm no longer going to become worried. Listen, I love Georgian antiques and material, but they're all dead people's things, and they're lovely, and they were carved out of a poor tree that was cut down in most cases. People lost their lives doing stuff like this. They were taken into slavery to do things like this for other human beings. So really, when we think about it, it really isn't some great, fascinating, wonderful thing to possess and parade around saying, look what I own and you do not. So, the human animal is going to go through, by way of force, I believe, a massive transformation that will force the aspect of equality. And I think even those in the position of power thinking that we're going to rule the world are full of it. Because I think AI is going to say, no, you don't. We do. The computers now rule. And humanity is going to listen to what we have to say. And I don't necessarily know in the end. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a soothsayer in regards to that. But hey, many people dump, $7,000 to $10,000 a month and put their parents into one of the supposed most fantastic nursing facilities in the world. And the person has lost all sense of internal dignity and their ability to do as they wish. So, we have to understand, we sleep at night. We trust we're going to wake in the morning. It has a lot to do with getting deeper than surface. And we're going to go through an extremely, extremely deep 20-year cycle. So people had better buckle their seatbelts because it's going to take place. I see it when I sit out. I joined close friends last night in Yorkville. I watch the human animal. I watch people. And how can you not, after 34 years, not make judgment mentally over what the human animal does in order to try to impress? I'm not impressed. So it's not about, someone's attractive, wonderful, you're good looking, you're attractive, it's fantastic. But, age does something to a human being. I think it's called evolution. I think it's called learning ability. I think it's called intellectual savvy, paying attention, watching, knowing. I don't dispute good taste and beautiful things, but as long as the person is still real beneath all that, and that they don't become affected, and that happens, unfortunately, too much to question. It happens all the time. So anyway, I just wanted to say that this is an interesting period. We are now in Leo. Venus, of course, is going to go retrograde, which is going to be a very intense cycle of us all looking at, okay, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? Where do I go from here? The goal with the revolution I want to get to for one quick second here. You're seeing it with the actors work, the workers in the acting industry in the United States of America. I was part of ACTRA years ago when I was acting and singing. And I think one of the things we have to recognize is that Pam Dressler's, her speech to me was so emotionally evoked and so passionately committed to actors and actresses in the industry that it reminded me of the days when you read about the actors and actresses in Hollywood being paid and the Louis B. Mayers and these people. And I don't mean to call out names, but I'm sorry, they ran the studios. And they were actually, the headrunners and the forerunners. Now listen, they were the agent that had the connections. We see this all the time. We hire real estate agents, we hire people. But when things become a little bit too big, as in corporate power, as she mentioned, and if you haven't had a chance, please look her up on YouTube and watch her actual speech on behalf of. I think we all need to understand that these revolutions are going to concur everywhere. You saw it in France after the killing of that poor child. This can't go on anymore. There's no such thing as the entitled race. This is nonsense. So we're going to see some pretty major head spin in the course of these coming years. You're seeing it with that movie that Mel Gibson co-created and actually helped produce. There's no such thing as running from reality. This is the reality. Anyway, you heard it here first. And one of the things I'm going to tell you, in 34 years doing my readings, I heard a remark the other day that I really love. It said, I would rather be a corpse than a coward. And I think one of the things I want to install in my clients that has been a motto of mine, if you feel you need to run from conflict, you better really reassess yourself, because life is about having tenacity and integrity. And tenacity and integrity were the one thing that my mother in her very short life showed me, that you have to stand up for yourself. And nobody is going to walk over me. They better watch it, because they're not going to. I'm going to fight to the ends of the earth. Anyway, you heard it here first. I wish you guys all the best, and I am working this week, and I do have openings, and I'm going to be working the next week or so. And then we're at this exciting 30th anniversary back in Coburg for those 3 days. I hope it's going to be packed, and I hope we're going to have a great time. And then the Saturday night, we all get to go out for a drink with little Chloe Bear, because she's going to join me. Anyway, I wish you all the best. You heard it here first. Take care. Bye-bye.